Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. It's Friday night, the start of the weekend, or in my case, the start of the housework. I need to get caught up, goodness gracious. But tonight I wanted to talk about paying it forward and how we as preppers could pay it forward, or how we just as people can pay it forward. And I've been reading various different things, as you know. I read the newspapers, I read the things, the websites, and watch the news and stuff, and there's been various little reports of, obviously, this cost of living crisis has been running for a few months now, and when I first started, I prepped like a demon. I spent a fortune on getting stores from a prepper pantry. The hauls were huge because I could. I had some disposable income. I had some money set aside. There's many of us did. And a lot of us now, that disposable income's not nearly what it was. But we're still, quite a few of us, a lot better off than others. And if we can, I think we should help. So I had a little, notepad as usual. I had some little ideas. Now, I don't know how these would work. I haven't worked out that far yet. But depending on your community, you may know how to make these work for someone. There's things like, the first thing was photocopying. Now, there's all the talk with the government saying, we're not going to be able to put up wages, we're not going to, taxes are going to have to be more, we're going to have to make cuts, etc. And a lot of the reports are saying there could be quite some hefty job losses in some sectors. There's other sectors where people just, they can't find enough workers. But for some people, if you're really, really struggling, even getting your CV printed is a big deal. Kathleen has to come to me because I work in an office. If you don't know someone that works in an office, I would think normally, as far as I know, and as I say, I don't particularly know what I'm talking about here, you need to go to the library and it'll probably cost you. So if you are able to help out, and especially if you know your local library, why not give them a little donation and say, do you know something, how much is it a sheet? Right, so it's maybe 10 pence a sheet or something. Put a couple of pound in. That's 3 or 4 people's CVs. And if you know the librarian, you can say, you know who's going to be doing their CV, as opposed to someone else who's just copying a load of stuff for themselves. If it's some young kid desperate to try and get his first job, but he's really struggling to get his CV done, then can you use that to give him his CV, get it printed for him? So, yeah, and if you have any more ideas like what I'm about to say, then please let us know, because I had to laugh when I first started this again, going back. I think it was Matt. Hello, Matt. He still comments and is lovely and sends love from Cornwall. But I think one of his first comments was, I thought you were going to be frugal. And I didn't have to be. I make a decent wage. Doesn't go nearly as far as it did when I started making the videos. But there's a difference. And I can help people. I help my family. I help Patrick's family. I help people along the road. I help local charities. I help local groups. Whether it's with my time, like volunteering for the radio station, or whether it's by giving something, like I gave a lot of stuff away from Mum and Dad's house. I try and help where I can. And Mum always said to me, and I think it was quite a Scottish West Coast thing, because Patrick sort of thinks the same. It's like, if I give £1, it's not going to bankrupt me. I'm lucky enough that I can give away £1. It's not going to bankrupt me. But it could make a huge difference to the person I give that £1 to. It's like the guy throwing the jellyfish or the starfish into the sea from the beach. There's thousands of them, and someone says, why are you doing that? What difference is it going to make? Well, nothing to the other 9,999, but to that one I've put back in the water, it makes a huge difference. So if you can do anything like that, it does make a difference. I know, I'm wittering, bear with me. One of the other things that I thought of was, if you've got a laundrette, does it have tokens? Can you leave a couple of tokens sitting there? Or did you know the laundrette operative? The dry cleaners, maybe. I know certainly, it's really, really weird. Down in London, they use dry cleaners all the time for their shirts because a lot of them live in HMOs, they don't have washing machines, or if they do, there's like 5 or 6 people using them. So a lot of them put their shirts in, especially for like interviews or night, they put their shirts into laundrette. If you know your local laundrette, say, mate, if you know someone that's coming in for, I need it for an interview, how much is it to get my shirt done? Say, actually, we've got a thing. Like the pay it forward thing, they did it with coffee as well, didn't they? My other thing was your internet cafes. I don't know how they work. We don't have them here. A clothing bank. I gave away so much clothing. And trust me, one of my dad's things when he retired and he started going up to his friends that did some shooting and stuff, and he got some really, really good quality clothes. Really, like seriously good quality clothes. Ridiculous amounts of money. But they were proper good. And I gave them away to people I knew. Like there was a young lad who had just moved up here from England, and he was travelling to work. He was walking down to work, and it was a good couple of miles. His first ever Scottish winter. I gave him Dad's thin-slit trousers and one of his thin-slit jackets, and thermal long sleeve t-shirt and stuff. It made a huge difference to him, and for me it was much better than just throwing the stuff in a charity shop. I don't know if it's going to get used, if anything. I put it to someone where it made a difference, and I tried to do that with all of Dad's stuff. There's some things I've still got because nobody's getting them. That's just not happening. Like the rugby shirt I had on last night, I think that's over 20 years old, and that was my daddy's, and it's not going anywhere. End of. So things like that, the clothing, either a local clothing bank, there's quite a few of them starting up just now, where you know that it's people in need who are coming in, rather than a multinational charity where you don't know where it's going. My other thing was bus tickets. Do you have a local bus company? Or do you know a local, these places where they help people do CVs? And kids that are just out of college, they help them do their CVs, they help them get interviews and that. Get them a bus ticket. You can get like a 10 journey ticket or a 2 journey ticket. That doesn't matter what your journey is. It's within an area. Like in London, it's zone 1. Get a couple of tickets and put them into there so they can use them. My other one, which I'm not quite sure, again, I'm not quite sure how this works. Childcare hours. Childcare hours are so difficult, especially for someone to go and get an interview to get a job. So if you know your local nursery, or if you know, again, this place where they help them put their CVs together, and they say, look, if anyone's looking to, if you've got some mum that's looking to go to an interview, but they can't get childcare, then there's a nursery voucher for a couple of hours. Speak to your local nursery if you know them. Now, I know not everybody will know someone, but somebody might know somebody, just in case. And I completely forgot what I was putting in as the last thing. That's so annoying. But yeah, that's my thing. There's so many ways we can pay it forward. That's my last thing. Food. Now, you can donate to your food bank as you do. If you work somewhere that's got quite a few people, and you've got, people who are on low wages, or youngsters that are just starting out and they're maybe in their first flat or something, especially if you batch cook, and especially with Halloween coming up, that's the sort of thing where you go in going, oh my goodness, I cooked so much stuff. Do you just want to take that home for lunch? Or, I'll leave a couple in the fridge if you want to take them home for lunch. Or my Halloween trick-or-treat bags, I made 20 and only 15 kids came and hand them out. Anything that you can do with that and say, oh, I got too many, or Kat wanted this, but I got her that, she doesn't want it. Does anyone eat or drink this? Anything you can do that maybe you're not obviously doing, because some people just will not accept it because they don't want to admit that they're struggling. So if you can do something like that, then that would be good. So yeah, that's my thing, pay it forward. As preppers, we're so good at trying to look at all the different ways of preparing, but we're also so good at helping others. So if you are in a position to help others, then please do. Because I would say within the next few months, there's going to be quite a few people, and certainly in April when this thing with energy changes, there's going to be quite a few people whose circumstances, excuse me, that's because I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning. Don't ask why, I've got no clue why. But there's going to be so many people are going to have a change of circumstance, and it's going to be difficult. So anything we can do just now, anything we can do going forward, while we are still able to, then please do. Because you just never know that nice crisp white shirt that was paid for at the laundrette might have got that young lad an interview. It might have got him the job, because it's something as simple as that can make or break an interview. You know, your bus ticket might get that person to an interview, which they couldn't otherwise have gone to. You know, just little things like that. You just never know. So, fingers crossed we can make a difference in our own little way. And we shall be doing more of that tomorrow. Catch you later.